is this woman?" Stanley demanded. "She's my sister," Jack blurted out. "The one from the circus. She's very devout. She's practicing her inner light. She smells like a gas station," Stanley grumbled. Linda left that night, decided she preferred the company of a sword swallower she'd met at the pier. But as she walked out, she whispered to Jack, "You've got a good setup here, kid. Don't blow it. And tell the blonde she should try the trapeze. She's got the balance of a squirrel." Chapter 29, The Jazzercise Craze. It was 1978, and a new phenomenon was sweeping the nation. Jazzercise. Chrissy was the first to fall under its spell. It's exercise, but with music. Chrissy cheered, wearing a neon green leotard and leg warmers that looked like they belonged on a poodle. 1, 2, 3, and kick. 1, 2, 3, and stretch. "Chrissy, you're shaking the floorboards," Shauna complained, trying to read her book. "Stanley's going to think we're having a riot." "Join me, Shauna. It's for the glutes. We want our glutes to be glorious." Jack, ever the opportunist, decided to become a certified jazzercise instructor to meet the women in the local class. He bought a headband that was too tight and a pair of shorts that were, well, very 1978. "I call it the tripper technique," Jack said, demonstrating a move that looked suspiciously like someone trying to escape a swarm of bees. "It's high energy. It's rhythmic. It's mostly about the breathing." The classes were held in the living room. 12 women, all in brightly colored spandex, followed Jack's lead while a disco version of Stayin' Alive blared from the radio. The inevitable happened when Stanley Roper, attracted by the thumping music, poked his head in. "What is this? A gymnasium?" Stanley asked, staring at the sea of spandex. It's a seminar on posture," Jack yelled over the music, "for the visually impaired. They look perfectly sighted to me," Stanley said, his eyes lingering a bit too long on a woman in a red bodysuit. The jazzercise phase ended when Jack pulled a muscle during a particularly vigorous star jump and had to be carried to the bathroom by Jeanne and Chrissy. Glorious glutes come at a price. Jack, Jeanne aside, applying an ice pack. "Worth it," Jack whispered, even as he winced. Chapter 30, The Three of Us. As the sun began to set on another long California summer, the trio found themselves sitting on the balcony for what felt like the 1,000th time. They were older now. The apartment felt smaller, or perhaps they had just grown to fit it perfectly. The lies they told Stanley were like old, comfortable shoes they still pinched occasionally, but they knew exactly how to walk in them. "Think about all the people who have come through that door," Jana said, looking out at the Pacific. "Nieces, ex-girlfriends, ministers, social workers. And we're the only ones who stayed," Chrissy added. Jack leaned his back against the railing, looking at them. "You know, when I first climbed through that bathroom window, I just wanted a place to sleep that didn't involve a beach and a damp towel." "And what did you get?" Jana asked, smiling. Jack looked around the small balcony. He thought of the Jimmy cake, the puppy in the cupboard, the steel plate in his head, and the countless meals they'd shared. He thought of the way Jeanette always knew when he was lying to himself, and the way Chrissy could make the worst day feel like a Saturday morning cartoon. "I got a crowd," Jack said softly. "A beautiful, loud, insane crowd." "We're not a crowd," Chrissy giggled. "We're company." "Three's Company," they said in unison. Below them, Stanley Roper was out on the lawn again, trying to fix a sprinkler head. He looked up and saw them on the balcony. He didn't shake his fist this time. He just gave a small, grumpy nod and went back to work. Helen appeared in the doorway, waving a dish towel at them with a bright, knowing grin. The world was changing. The disco lights were starting to fade, and the neon 80s were beckoning. But as the three of them stood together, watching the first stars appear over Santa Monica, they knew that some things were timeless. Some things were worth the lies, the rent crises, and the deconstructed soulfuls. Because as long as they had each other, life would always be a ball again. Laughter was calling for them, and they were finally home. Three's-Company-2, Chapter 31, Disco Fever and the White Suit. The summer of 1978 hit its peak when the local disco, the Velvet Rope, announced its annual dance marathon. The prize, a brand new, state-of-the-art stereo system and a trophy that looked like a gold-plated platform shoe. "We need that stereo," Jack declared, looking at the ancient radio in their living room that only played AM stations and static. "Our current sound system sounds like a bee trapped in a tin can. But none of us can dance disco," Jana argued. "I can do a polite waltz, and Chrissy, well, Chrissy just jumps until she falls over." "I do not," Chrissy pouted. "I have rhythm. My father used to say my tapping was so loud it could wake up the deacons." Naturally, Larry Dallas intervened. He arrived with a three-piece white polyester suit that shimmered under the fluorescent kitchen lights. "Jack, my boy, you are the secret weapon. With this suit and my Dallas dip, we can't lose." The week leading up to the marathon was a blur of spinning and pointing. Jack spent hours in front of the mirror, practicing his smoldering disco face. Jana was his reluctant partner, and Chrissy acted as the choreographer, which mostly involved her shouting and sparkle. Now sparkle more. On the night of the competition, the trio and the Ropers all descended upon the velvet rope. Stanley looked remarkably uncomfortable in a wide-collared shirt, while Helen was thriving in a dress covered in enough sequins to be seen from space. "Stanley, try to look like you're having fun," Helen hissed. "You look like you're waiting for a bus in the rain." The competition was fierce. Jack, in his blindingly white suit, was doing well